And welcome to Week 7 Fantasy Wall Street, brought to you by the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We're going to be looking at some players you should be looking to buy before their value skyrockets, or players you should be trying to sell at their peak or before their stock just tanks. Okay, Kyle, give me some good fantasy financial advice.
All right. Well, we're going to start off with Breece Hall as a buy. This guy had a rough game last week against Denver, so it creates a little bit of a window. I know everybody was super high trying to buy him right after Braylon Allen went out. They're like, oh, he's going to get more carries. Well, they were right. The work has gone up. But then the disappointing week against Denver. Guys, this guy has the easiest running back schedule in the league through the rest of the season. You look at some of these matchups, Carolina, Cincinnati. Okay, the Cleveland one's tough. Baltimore, Atlanta, Miami again. Jacksonville, New Orleans, New England. You want this guy on your team. He's getting all of the carries. And we know what kind of talent Breece Hall is. So take the opportunity that this Denver game afforded you and go acquire Breece Hall.
I agree. Plus, you've got Garrett Wilson, who's going to be out for just a little bit with his injury. So that's going to open up an opportunity here for Breece Hall to probably get a little bit larger workload here. Yep. And so as that offense kind of gets their crap together, but he's already a receiving back, averaging probably around 5 receptions a game. And so, I mean, it's probably going to go up with Garrett Wilson out. They're going to lean on this guy a little bit more. And like you said, coming off of a 6-point performance, I think people are going to be down on him a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Garrett Wilson take too. Yeah, little more leaning on the run game in the
little boost.
Yep.
All right, who's your next guy?
All right, now we're going to talk about the 200-yard rusher in the room. Mr. Rico Dowdle is a sell for me. I know some of you are thinking to yourself, holy cow, this guy had 200 yards 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. Why would you sell this guy? Well, because he played the 2 worst rushing defenses in the league back-to-back weeks in Miami.
Coincidence? I think not.
In Miami and Dallas with Chuba Hubbard on the shelf, right? Chuba Hubbard's going to be coming back. He never even made it to IR. So he could be back this week. He could be back next week. We don't know for sure yet. But he's not going to be getting this full workload. He had 23 touches against Miami, or 23 runs, 3 catches, and then 30 runs and 4 catches against Dallas. He's not going to get those workloads when Chuba's back. And so I'm thinking we'll probably end up seeing, as a bonus aside, I'm selling Chuba Hubbard as well. They're both going to be probably in a close to 50-50 timeshare because they both play really, really well. Their passing game is not great. They're going to lean on the run always. And so they're both going to take a ding. It's going to be tough to rely on either one. You're looking at a Seattle Charbonnet K9 situation 2.0 right here.
Yeah, it's going to be a headache that you don't really want to deal with. Unfortunately, I think a lot of backfields are going to that. But, Chuba was always had a pretty high workload, and so that gave him some value. I know we're not talking about him, but Dowdle has come in here and looked really good. Chuba's hasn't lost his job. No. So that's going to hurt Rico. Rico's workload is going to go up when Chuba's back, but it's not going to be enough to get you these kinds of points. Now, is he going to do good in week 7? Probably. Even if Chuba comes back, Chuba's not going to be probably a full workload. So he's still probably going to do pretty decent, but he won't keep having these 30-plus point games. It's just not going to happen. So you probably need to sell him. And like you said, as a bonus, little aside, Chuba, probably as quick as you can. I mean, you'll probably still get another pretty decent performance out of Rico. So you have one more open window for selling, but I would try to get on that as quick as possible, especially if someone has a bye week this week that they need a running back to fill in to get them by and they're desperate for a win. Go find that person who has a bad bye week with their running backs, and you could probably get a pretty good trade in there.
His value will never be higher than it is right now.
Agreed.
This season or any other season. It'll never be higher than it is right now after 2 200-yard games in a row.
Don't take a risk of him getting hurt against the Jets this week. Don't even take the chance. Go get something for it. I mean, you picked him up for free off the waiver wire when Chuba got hurt. So you've got nothing invested into him. He's giving you 2 solid weeks here. Sell him.
Yep.
All right, who's the next guy?
All right, jumping back over to the buy column, we're going to talk about Tyjae Spears. And I know he's been back. He just had his second game back from injury. They're clearly working him back very slowly. I think we start seeing some of that pickup. Pollard's not been doing great. So I think we start to see that workload start to pick up now after a couple of games with no aggravations or anything like that. I do think Tyjae starts taking over the bulk of the touches in this backfield. I'm not saying it won't be a close to even split, but I'm thinking, within a couple weeks, you're going to see Tyjae 60% of the touches in this backfield. He's just a much better runner, could give this offense a little bit of a spark that it needs, because right now it's just, running into a brick wall. It's ridiculous. So they need the spark. I think Tyjae Spears can give them that. He's still sitting, I know, because I picked him up late last week for free. He's still sitting on waivers in a ton of leagues.
He's 33% roster right now on Sleeper.
People think because he's on this offense, he can't do them any good. I give you Rico Dowdle, okay?
Yep.
You can still do good, put up good numbers in the right matchups, even on a bad team. And he has some decent matchups down the stretch. So pick him up. You might not start him every week. He's going to be a solid flex play.
Yeah, and I know he's going to be splitting that time, but like you said, good, solid flex play. And I know what people are thinking. Well, Pollard established himself. He did pretty good last year. He hasn't done great this year, but he hasn't done the worst. Is Spears really going to come in here and take it? Well, I can tell you in week 6, he came in and had a 59% snap share to Pollard's 43% snap share. And let me tell you what highlights also here for me is Tyjae Spears had 4 receptions. He was 4 for 4 on passing last week, and Pollard has not had 4 receptions in a game all season. He's played all games. So in his first real game back, he had 5 carries where he averaged 6.2 yards per carry, but he also had 4 targets and 4 receptions. So I also like that, and a higher snap share than Pollard. So yeah, I think I'm rolling with Spears here. If Spears can stay healthy finally, then he might have a true shot at doing some good here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we are going to sell, and this one's a little bit tricky. Kimani Vidal.
Alrighty.
We're going to sell Vidal, and I know most people didn't even pick him up last week. Everybody was talking about Hassan Haskins. I'm going to pat myself on the back for picking Vidal as a boom last week, but the reason for putting him on the sell list is so let somebody else spend their fab or their high waiver priority to go and claim him. He is not going to play Miami every week. Amari Hampton will be back later in the season. They signed Nyheim Hines, who is essentially the exact same type of player as Vidal. They're probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they're out shopping for another running back to bring in, honestly. So there's just too many question marks around this backfield right now. I'm not wasting fab or high waiver priority on this guy.
Yeah, likely somebody you might have already done that, but if you did, it's still a good defensive move. He has trade value to people who don't really know any better, right? They're looking at this. People are desperate for running backs right now because of all the injuries. So he has good trade value. And like Kyle said, with that, his value will never be higher because, he doesn't get to play Miami again this season, who has like the worst defense, right, for running backs. So I'm selling him because, as far as I hear, also the Chargers are looking for more running backs to go out and get. They're looking for another running back to go out and get because I just don't think they think this is their guy, So, he had one good game here. He didn't start off great, so they obviously didn't really trust him in the beginning, and then he kind of caught fire. And I think it's going to be a hot hand situation in that running back until they find another guy, and that's scary. He just happened to get the hot hand against Miami, and they let him continue on. But maybe he's not. Maybe he's not the first one to catch fire next game, and he's just getting to watch from the sidelines. That's scary. So that's not the type of guy I want, but he's got good trade value right now. Go cash in.
Yeah, hot hand is the key word there. You don't know who it's going to be from week to week.
2 words, but yeah, sure.
Like you say, Hassan, started the game, and then Vidal basically had to wrestle the rest of the carries for the game away from him by just outplaying him, and that's what happened.
Yep.
And it might not happen against other teams. So yeah,
Exactly.
All right, last bye, Brock Bowers, and before you kill me in the comments, I know he's out hurt right now. I know he's not playing right now.
That's the point.
That is the entire point. That is, this guy, when he's healthy and he plays, is a game changer for your fantasy team. And right now, if you were one of these that was lucky enough to get a Waller or a Mason Taylor or somebody like that off of waivers that's playing well, that you can trade to a guy that's dying at tight end right now because Bowers has been out, try to find a deal that works, get Bowers, and you've got this game changer for the rest of the season. His value is as low as it's ever going to get probably right now because he's not playing. It's the perfect time to pounce on a guy like this.
Yeah, Bowers is obviously the best offensive weapon. I mean, I know they have Genty, but that offensive line is horrible, right? But, I mean, you want Bowers.
You do.
Geno throws to Bowers. And like you said, I mean, he hasn't been performing. We saw week 1 what he's capable of. That injury is hampering him and kind of lingering and stuff. But they're holding him out so that he can actually come back healthy, which I very much appreciate. And so once he comes back, I like that situation for him. But like you said, people are going to be really desperate right now. People are feeling the heat to win right now because they feel their fantasy season slipping away from them, with 1 or 2 wins only right now because it's been a crazy season. And, I mean, just find that person that's being impatient. You could probably get Bowers.
Well, because if you think about it, there's been some disappointing tight ends this year. So even if you don't have one where somebody, has a hurt guy that you can trade him for him or people have been disappointing. People are desperate. I'm not usually one to advocate for trading for hurt players, but he's that kind of difference maker when he's healthy.
Agreed.
He's not going to miss the whole season. So now's the time where you're not going to get him.
There are certain players that I will trade for when they are hurt because it's the only time you can get them. And Bowers is kind of one of those guys. CeeDee Lamb's kind of another one of those guys. The only time you're ever going to be able to get him is when he's hurt, right? Yep. So you got to capitalize on that. When you know they're coming back at some point, go get them.
Exactly.
All right, finish on a bad note, looks like.
All right. Well, it's a good news, bad news situation. Good news is Rashee Rice is finally back. He's off suspension. He's back. He's going to kick butt this weekend.
Got him out of NFL jail.
I have no doubt in my mind. But the bad news is if you've been riding Xavier Worthy through the first part of the season, try to sell him before Rashee Rice comes back. I still think he's going to be involved, but he's not going to be nearly as involved. And so his production will take a dip. This is probably a brief window you have to capitalize on the value from this first part of the season. So I'm trying to take advantage of that ASAP.
Yeah, I think Worthy is going to go back to his regular kind of boom or bust role, right? He won't be as consistent as he's been. And we saw that last year. I mean, he was either getting a couple big pass plays a game, or he kind of wasn't doing much. So, and Hollywood is also in the mix here, which he really wasn't last year. So that's going to hurt Worthy here a little bit too, because Hollywood is getting involved in that offense more and more. So, but Rashee Rice is the obvious number one once he's back. Of course, Kelsey's still there. And then you've got to share between Worthy and Hollywood there. And I just don't love that. So, and would you say that this is just advice for redraft, correct?
Yes.
Just want to clarify with that because Worthy still has quite a bit of value in Dynasty. So just clarifying for our viewers there. So, but yes, unfortunately, I think Worthy is about to become less dependable with Rashee Rice off his suspension.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That'll do it for us this week on Fantasy Wall Street, guys. Good luck in your trades out there and good luck in Week 7 matchups.
Good luck.